All right, I would like to introduce Jacki Lapin, our next speaker. Jacki is a leader in helping leaders, authors, coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs connect with their next followers around the globe. An expert at aiding them to get booked, she provides strategies, guidance, and direct leads through her Speakertunity programs, tip sheets, and regional directories that get changemakers booked for speaking engagements, radio shows, podcasts, virtual summits, TEDx events, and virtual networking across North America. Speakertunity also offers a speaker one-sheet graphic design service, booking systems, and training to fill up your speaking calendar. Speakertunity is the ultimate speaker's toolbox. And she is here for the OC Speakers Network meeting. She's our amazing guest speaker this month, and it is May 4th, 2021. I'm Lisa Reed, founder of Get Speaking Gigs Now and OC Speakers Network. I'm saying that because I forgot to say that at the beginning of the recording, and we've been here for a while already, but we are jumping into the recording. Jacki, can you take it away and share your amazing knowledge with us?
I would love to, Lisa.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you. So today, I'm going to share the 44 ways to seduce your next client from stage, podcast, radio, virtual summits, or virtual networking. Now, Lisa was so good about laying out the possibilities of the ways that you can actually monetize your speaking gigs. And one of the ways that you can actually do that is to start it with an offer that they cannot refuse. And oftentimes the opportunity that you're given to speak may not include an opportunity to provide a paid program at the end, but you will have an opportunity to provide something free. And that is the beginning of a relationship. And so the problem is that most people think of free gift offers as maybe an ebook and maybe just a free consultation. But ladies and gentlemen, there are so many other ways that you can entice people. And I'm going to open up your eyes to some of those ways, some of those 44 ways. So you had the opportunity to hear a lot about me. I do radio podcasters. We've been introducing authors to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts. I booked over 10,000 interviews. I'm a best-selling author of 2 books. And of course, I'm the founder of Speakertunity. But all of that really has led to the fact that my mission is to really help the leaders in the world who are changing it do that faster and more easily so that we can all make a better world. So a little bit about Speakertunity, you've started to hear about it. We provide different resources that will enable you to get the leads that you need. And we also provide tools like speaker one sheets and podcast introductory sheets. So all of these are ways that we can really quicken your path to getting the opportunities that are going to enable you to change more lives and generate more revenue and have more impact. So today's agenda is you're going to learn what will get prospects to engage with you, how to turn a presentation into a list or client building opportunity, and the vast array of options to entice your next client. So let's first talk about the key targets, the places where you can start delivering these kinds of events. And we'll go into a little bit more detail later, but essentially, you know, there's great opportunities. If you can get on a broadcast radio show, that's a real home run, especially from the national or satellite opportunity or syndicated, but don't overlook local radio because it is still thriving. And there are opportunities in morning drive and weekend health shows and women's empowerment shows and all kinds of other things. Don't overlook this. Internet radio also, people think that it's, now that podcasts are here, that internet radio is not as significant. I got news for you. It sells just as well as podcast does, and it's just as targeted. So you could look at the big aggregators like Voice America and Blog Talk for the kinds of shows that you want to get on. You can look at vertical networks like BBS, which is Mind, Body, Spirit, and Progressive and Healthy Life, which is health. The women to women or business talk radio. I mean, that tells you what exactly they are. And then podcasts. There are 1 million podcasts today, and I am not kidding you. We have surpassed the 1 million over a year ago, and it keeps building. And then virtual summits are an overlooked opportunity. This is a great opportunity to have a very targeted audience and grow your opt-in list very, very fast. And I don't have to explain what a virtual summit is. And then stages, you're looking at all kinds of things, conference and summits and local professional meetings and associations and special interest groups and venues, fixed venues like spiritual centers or business education centers and virtual conferences and then breakout rooms and virtual networking opportunities. These are all the kinds of places where you can deliver your free gift. So a change maker starts with engagement. You can't really impact somebody's life until they actually start to engage with you. So it's an opportunity to get them to know, like, and trust you. And this offer gives them a taste of your expertise and a promise of things to come. You will only want to ask for an email in return because if you start asking for a lot of other stuff, they're going to get reticent. You want to present something they really need to solve a problem. I mean, people aren't going to want to opt in for something unless it really appeals to their sense of need. So you have to really get into their sweet spot. You want to make it relevant to today, now, and them. You know, obviously, there's a lot of hot topics that are going on right now. If you can tie in with those hot topics, then you're really golden. But it really needs to be relevant to what they're experiencing in this very moment. You know, before the pandemic, you know, there were a whole lot of issues that now are much more prevalent because of the pandemic and vice versa. So click in with where their head's at this point and be generous. You know, people are afraid if they give away too much information that people aren't going to want more from you, but that is exactly the opposite. The more generous you are with the information, and of course, you do not have to give away the store. You just want to give them a teaser of what you're offering. But the more generous you are, the more they're going to want from you. So you want to make an offer they simply can't refuse. So we want to make it easy to secure. It has to have a really clear and easy landing page with not a lot of copy on it. A couple of lines, a good picture, and the form to sign up on. And you can actually put your freebie on your website if you want as well, as long as it's on the homepage. Don't make them look for it. And then another way to do that is text autoresponder. Get them to text to a telephone number from the stage. I'm sure you've all experienced that at some point today. And if you're going to give them a URL, it's got to be easy to remember. Now, one of the things you can do is get a single domain for that. Or if you're going to put it on your website, you use just one word after it so it's something you can remember when delivering and they can respond to easily because they don't have to take long, notes on what it is. And the only time that you ask for a mail address is when you're actually sending them a physical product. And it's permissible to do that if you're going to do that, because that's real good perceived value. So your selection of seductive offers is pretty unlimited when you start putting together the opportunities, the types of offers, and really personalizing them to what it is that you're doing and what it is you're bringing to the table. So let's first talk about the category of you. Now, when you are giving them a little slice of you, it's a really big winner because people like to feel that if they get your full attention and they start to build that chemistry with you, they're going to want more. So obviously, you're probably aware that you can offer a 20 or 30 minute free consultation. Just a little talk about, their business, and what you might be able to do for them. But you can also get more specific, like a 20 or 30 minute strategy session, where you're actually taking a problem or an issue that they're dealing with and help them see how they can get over that hump. And of course, you're there on the other side to say, well, let me help you do that. Once we've established you've got this problem, how I can help you get over it. The next one is a 20 or 30 minute free evaluation. You are evaluating something in their business that is not working perhaps, or could be working better. That's a really great opportunity to show them the value that you bring to the table. The next is a 20 or 30 minute free makeover. Now, we all think of makeovers as faces, but we can make over a website, as Michael, I'm sure, knows, or anything else that they have, a book cover or whatever it might be that you can help them improve on. Give them a tip and a hint on how they can do that, and then show them the rest of the way to get there. And then a 20, 30 minute, 3-minute reading if you're doing something like intuitive skills, astrology, whatever it is. I had a guy do a reading on me the other day using numerology and astrology at the same time in 10 minutes, and he was dead right. I mean, it was astonishing. Don't you think that I would want more of that? You bet I did. Okay, so the next category is documents. So one of my all-time favorites, excuse me, it's one of my all-time favorites, and the thing that really works well is tips. A list of 10 valuable tips. This is a real winner when you're going out there. Something that people need that's going to show them is simplify for them some mystical area that you can clarify for them really quickly with 10 tips. The next thing is, let's say that you have access to influencers that they would like to get to, and you can give them those contacts for those influencers. Wow, that really puts you on a high stratosphere for them. And then another is a list of valuable resources they wouldn't have time to gather for themselves. One of my dearest friends is a hybrid publisher, and she gives people her $1 million Rolodex of all the different kinds of resources she uses in the publishing industry. Now, don't you think that, you know, most of them they may get it, but they're not really going to use it. They're going to hire her to do it. So, but it's an opportunity to really get in a lot of people's email box. Product reviews. If you are familiar and can review an industry resource that they need, and you can cut down the time of them having to try to figure out what is good, what is bad, they love that. The next thing is an insider's guide. If you know your industry really, really well, and they're obviously sitting on the outside, but it would behoove them to have more understanding of that industry, an insider's guide is a great tool, and people will love that. Another thing, you may think that the idea of a free report or white paper is old school, but I am telling you, it is making a real comebacker. So if you have a deep dive on a particular issue or problem that, or perspective of what's going on in the world that's going to impact your audience, they're going to love that. And then the last thing is a checklist. Everybody loves checklists. We do a checklist of how to what you need to do once you get booked for a speaking gig. That's 7.5 pages long, along with a video, and people absolutely love this. So checklists are a great resource because it keeps them from making mistakes. The next category is books. Now, obviously, a soft cover copy of your book is a real winner. Now, most people want to sell their book, but some people are using their book as a lead generation tool, and they're willing to give it away. So obviously, that is a real opportunity. If somebody gets a real hard value of a soft cover book, they're going to sign up for that in 1.5 minutes. A PDF or ebook of an older book. Repurpose a book that you have that's no longer making a lot of money for you, that's maybe you've got something more current, use that old one and give it away as a PDF or an ebook. Another thing is sometimes people make a short pamphlet style book, especially when they're in a particular industry. I've seen this really done well in the financial advisor industry, where you're really telling people what they don't know. And they obviously at the end of it, you're the answer to their problem. So it doesn't have to be a big soft cover. It's maybe 25 or 30 pages. And but it's a real winner from a giveaway. A workbook. All right, you've just given them a whole lot of real good information, and now you're giving them a workbook that they can get to actually try out and experience and work with the information that you gave them. So it's a follow-up on some other kind of a conversation that you're having with them, or a presentation you've done in the room. Another thing is an audiobook. Again, and here's a situation, everybody loves audiobooks today, but you may have an older one that you are not, making money off of, or even it is a money-making one, but hey, it's such a valuable resource for getting you business that you don't mind giving it away. So that is a great resource, but audiobooks are so hot today, it's a real good giveaway. So interactive items. Okay, everybody knows, you've seen all these 5 and 30-day challenges. The reason you see so many of them, and they are the single most effective way to get opt-ins in and conversion in our business today. So obviously, if you want to put one of these together, they can be simple in some ways, but they can be very complicated. There's a lot of moving parts to them, but they're well worth doing. A personalized product, such as an astrological chart based on information they submit. You don't have to sit there and work out all the details. You've done it somehow into a computer situation where they submit the information, it pops out the information. People love to know about themselves. And that goes for the next things that you're going to see here. A chart that lets them see where they fit. They want to see where they are in the hierarchy, either against other people or against an ideal. And if you can show them, and obviously one of the points is that, hey, they're a long way from what they really need, and you're the answer to get them up to the ideal. So a chart that lets them see when they put in the information where they flow in that chart, that's a really good resource. And then the last thing is an intriguing self-evaluation quiz. Don't we all want to know more about ourselves? And a quiz like that, you know, and they see the results and it tells them a little bit more about themselves and what their next need is or where they need to go from here. That really is a great business tool. It points them into specific aspects of your business that where you can help them. Now, some of these take a little bit of technology knowledge, but there's lots of people out there that actually provide these services that you can hook into and a not extraordinary amount of money. The next thing is audio. Well, we all know about a guided meditation. That's a great resource, but there's also an audio download from a teleseminar, webinar, or other live recording that you've done. And when you're repurposing that information and getting it out there, it's a great use of something that's sitting on your shelf and that you can get people to respond to. An excerpt from or complete audio product. You've done another audio product. Let's repurpose it for this purpose. Or, you know, let's say you've done a 3-day workshop and you pull out just an hour or two's worth of content and put it into this audio product. And then free original music from you or related to your product or subject matter, a playlist that pertains to whatever you're teaching. That's always a lot of fun for folks. And here's one that's really useful. When you can associate yourself with other luminaries or experts in your field that people feel that they really want to get some wisdom and knowledge from, it really elevates who you are to associate with those people. So if you can interview them and provide a product, an audio product with those experts, you're really going to give people something they can use, and it's going to also add your credibility. Video. So video series on some aspect of your teaching. Obviously, many of you are already using YouTube to be able to tell people about some of the expertise in your area. Well, here's a way what you can purpose it into a series that they opt in to get. You know, each one is on some other aspect that takes them further into, oh, wow, I need to hire this person for what I need. Interviews with experts, again, from a teleseminar, webinar, live recording where you're actually doing it on a video standpoint as opposed to an audio. Again, a repurposed older video product. You've already sold something and now you're, or a conference that you've done, now you're repurposing for this person. And we talked about the 10 tips from an email standpoint. Well, a 10 tips of videos is also a great resource. So that over the course of either 10 days, 10 weeks, they get a video tip from you each time. And it's something, again, that's valuable and exciting, and they're going to want to opt into. And then video reviews of products. We talked about that on the print side. This is also a great thing that you can do. You know, they have all these things where people are opening products and doing reviews on them now on YouTube. You can do something very similar in terms of what you're doing for these folks. And then you can also take the concept of a guided meditation from audio and do something on a video standpoint that would give people peace and turn them to a sense of calm. And then anything, if you've done a movie or you've been part of a movie that's something related to this, then you might want to actually, make that available to people free too. Continuity. This is a great thing. This is where you're giving people an opportunity to have an extended relationship with you so that you can begin to upsell them all kinds of things. One is a free membership in a club, organization, or a membership organization with appealing benefits. And one of the nice things about this is you can offer a free level, and then there's a paid level, and then there's another level. So, it's a great way to get them in the door and then bump them up the system. And then an irresistible sequence of emailed or video tips. We've been talking about that. in these others, but essentially it is a continuity program if it doesn't end, if it continues to go on and on and on and on. And a daily dose of your wisdom or expertise. When I wrote two books in personal growth, and one of those was, and those books really dealt with the wisdom in the consciousness and spiritual area. And so we would pull quotes from leaders throughout the industry, and we would give a little dose of those every single day. It wasn't necessarily me, but it was other people they would recognize. And we had a huge sign up for this that went on and on and on. A newsletter, you know, a newsletter is a good tool. It just needs to be really sexy. You have to really give them a good reason to actually want to join a newsletter today. And then alerts on breaking news in your industry. If you really have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in your industry, and you can keep people informed of that, and they're going to love to see those alerts come into their email box and showing what that you're the expert that you are. And then lastly is an ongoing updates of a personal nature, astrological, spiritual, numerological, health. If you can continue to give people updates that are going to improve their state and status in life in one shape or form, that people are going to sign up for that. They're going to love that, and they're going to stick around a while. And then there's the simple giveaway. If you can give people a product, yes, everybody loves a product. Everybody's raising their hand in the room when you got them in an event, but you have to get them to sign up first. Don't just give it away. And then raffles. Raffles are a great way. You don't have to give away to everybody. You give them one big prize, but you get their opt-in to get that. Another thing is just giving them samples. Everybody gets a little sample of whatever it is if you went to in exchange for their opt-in. And a useful digital tool for their advancement. If you have some technology expertise, or you have a license for a certain kind of technology that you can give them, that's going to make their life a lot easier, that they're thrilled to get from you because they don't have to pay for it. That is a great way to get them to opt in. And the last thing is a first item in a series which requires payment for the rest. So they get the first one free, but well, if they want to need the next one or the one after that, then they're going to have to give you some money. And now we're talking about big ticket items. So obviously a free ticket to your event is a great way to get people's opt-in. Lots of people, I know will stand in front of a stage or on a virtual event and say, I'm giving away free tickets if you sign up right now. Spot on a virtual summit. Now, this is where you actually are limiting the access, and you need to get people to opt in potentially for an opportunity to be on your virtual summit. Another thing is, and the same goes through of an interview on your podcast, especially if you charge for your podcast. If you give them an opportunity to get an interview free, that really makes a good opportunity to get people's opt-ins. So an opportunity to meet and greet a luminary or leader whose access is limited, that is a real winner. If you happen to be personal friends with some great luminary, let's say Jack Canfield, for the case may be, and you can get Jack Canfield in a room to have a meet and greet or on a private Zoom meeting with just a few people, and you get to be the gatekeeper, they will sign up for that. And you don't actually have to do a lot of promotion, because they know who that is and they want access to them. And then entry to win a VIP or private dinner. I mean, this is essentially a raffle where people, one person in the group is going to get that opportunity to have that private session with you, but everybody else wants it, and they're going to sign up to potentially to get it. So how'd you like all of that information wrapped up for you in an easy, you can just store. So you can go to speakertunity.com/seduce, and you can get a copy of all of this information. All of those wonderful 44 ways. So work your free gift into the conversation or the presentation organically. You've got this great gift, you really empowering people and they're excited about it. And you just want to be able to make it so that it sounds like it's just part of the conversation. And anytime you're on a podcast, somebody's going to say toward the end, so you have something you'd like to give away. But if not, make it part of your slide presentation. There's lots of ways to drop this into any kind of a conversation you're having with people. So where do you find all these opportunities? You can go to tons of places like we talked about at the very beginning. But in addition to the things that we were talking about early on, you can also look at masterminds and webinars and guest appearances and prospective client conversations and emails and newsletters and blogs. Your freebie is your ticket to gold. And, these are all many of these resources you can find, especially in the left-hand column or over at Speakertunity.com. And as I said before, these are just different ways to, I'd love to invite you to come and explore what we offer. And both Kelly and I are available to chat with you a little bit more about what might be just right for you and put you in the right direction. Of course, you've got a great teacher in Lisa. She's already got you tuned up to book them. We'll just give you where they are available. But the last thing I wanted to leave you with is that most of you are going to need a speaker one sheet if you don't have one already. And as you know, we do those speaker one sheets, a design, but I want to make sure that you don't make the mistakes that a lot of other people make. So I want to leave you with 8 ways to sabotage your speaker one sheet, a cautionary tale on how to avoid making critical mistakes when trying to impress a speaker booker. So I want to encourage you to go over to speakertunity.com/sabotage. And I'm going to give you this great little training that I think is going to really make sure that you don't step in it when you're trying to do this. I don't want you to get all done with your speaker one sheet and think and start handing it out and realize, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I really didn't make this powerful enough. Get that little presentation and it's going to get you on the right path to having a powerful, impactful, and successful speaker one sheet. So, all right. And now I'm going to hand it back to Lisa.